Hi there, today I'm taking a look at a slightly unusual sweet wine from California. This is the Quady Winery's Elysium Black Muscat, and that's the 2018 vintage of that, from a half bottle. Andrew Quady started his career in wine in the 1970s. He'd been working for the US Navy as an underwater explosives expert, so he was looking for a quieter, safer life. He studied at the University of California in Davis, where he came top of his class, and once he graduated, he started making fortified wines. He was using Amador County beautiful ripe Zinfandel to make a wine that he called Starboard, in homage to port from Portugal. These days he actually uses similar Portuguese varieties to make the same wine. That's a brand he's been making for several decades now. Following the success of Starboard, next wine to come into the portfolio in 1980 was Essencia, an Orange Muscat. Having had some success with that, in 1983, Quady was offered a load of Muscat, a variety sometimes called Black Hamburg or Muscat Trollinger. It's quite a rare variety, and in fact in Europe it's more likely to be grown as a table grape. But since Quady's success with this particular wine, Elysium, it's now fairly popular for making sweet wines in California. The fruit Quady was offered had previously been used to produce sacramental wine, and he applied the same sort of treatments he'd used with Essencia to the Black Muscat. So once the grapes were picked, they were crushed, they were chilled, and they were left to macerate for a while, ensuring the extraction of beautiful aromatics as well as colour prior to the introduction of alcohol during fermentation. Fermentation was brief. There was an addition of spirit to bring the strength up to 15% alcohol and to leave 135 grams of sugar in there. So a fully sweet wine. The wine was then finished by aging for 3 to 4 months in old, predominantly French oak barriques, so not trying to give oak influence, but really just trying to marry the wines together. So technically this is a California Liqueur wine. It's a fortified red wine. So let's have a look at the wine, shall we? First thing to say is we've got a medium depth of red colour. It's not particularly dark. It's got quite a nice intensity. It's a mauvish purple red. It's not particularly dark. When you say Black Muscat, it's a red colour, obviously. The aromas are quite sort of heady, sherbety. There's a lovely sort of floral, almost lychee or Turkish delight sort of lift. People talk about rose petals as being an aroma of this particular wine. There's no oak element or anything like that. It is just this lifted, heady, quite ripe, sweet perfume. Quite jammy, I suppose. So let's have a taste. The wine is fully sweet, but actually there's a lovely freshness that's lifting those aromas. There's a sort of a raspberry and rose petal note, perhaps a bit more depth and richness as it opens and becoming more sort of ripe red cherry, but fresh ripe red cherry. It's that lovely acidity lifting the fruit again. There's really quite a sweetness to it. There's a lovely sort of sherbety lift to the whole thing. The wine's quite sweet. It's not hugely complex, but it has these beautiful lifted perfumes that make it very attractive. And the flavours are lasting really quite well. It's a clean sweetness. There's a freshness. It's not coming up as sticky or cloying. And the flavours last really pleasantly. There is this sort of beautiful red fruit note that's left. So yes, an attractive, fairly simple, easy drinking red wine. I quite like the suggestion that you could use this almost like creme de cassis to produce a kir by adding it to a wine. It would beautifully pair with lots of sort of fruit desserts, plum tart, salty blue cheeses, things like that. So really interesting wine. I hope you found the tasting interesting. If you've enjoyed it, do please like and share it with your friends. Do follow us on YouTube, that would be great. Get the chance, do please join us for another tasting. We'd love to see you there. Bye now.